Symbolism is a way to hide information, to make a riddle or enigma. In this brief presentation, follow as a mystery reveals itself by unraveling symbolism. We begin our search at the Woodworker's Source website and uncover that a Magnolia grandiflora is also called a Semiramis tree. The Congressional Medal of Honor Society website specifically states that the Statue of Liberty was designed after Semiramis, the Queen of Babylon and wife of Nimrod. In the Bible's book of Daniel, a prophecy is written about a prince. This prince uses gold, silver, and pleasant things to honor a goddess of fortresses. In 2012, artist Kara Ross is hired by the Obamas to make jewelry and gifts from Magnolia wood for world leaders. During his tenure as President of the United States, Obama has not only utilized jewelry to give to heads of state, he has also visited locations that are named after Magnolia, and he has planted several trees. Not to mention that he has called his Team Obamacare Magnolia. In 1530, Europe was at war. While the Ottoman Empire was advancing through Austria against the armies of Emperor Charles of Germany, Pope Leo was also combating the Reformation of the Protestants under the direction of Martin Luther and the princes of Germany. While Suleiman the Great, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, was advancing, he would receive word that Jerusalem was continually being ransacked by Bedouins. A request was made to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. In the year 1530, Suleiman would order and decree that the walls of Jerusalem should be rebuilt. Once the war between Europe and the Ottoman Empire ended, he focused upon his decree to rebuild the walls. From 1536 to 1541, the walls of Jerusalem would be constructed, thus ushering in a fulfillment of prophecy stated in the book of Daniel. Daniel stated that it would be troublous times when these events would take place. When the Catholic Empire received word that the construction of the walls of Jerusalem had been undertaken by Suleiman, they endeavored to destroy the Reformation. By 1541, General Loyola had formed the Jesuit order, its main purpose to rout and eliminate anyone against the Catholic Empire. In 1582, Pope Gregor would institute the new calendar system currently in use today, eliminating the Bible's calendar based on the lunar cycle. In the midst of this time frame, by 1776, the United States of America would be born. Daniel was told that from the decree to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, 483 years would pass. In that time, the Statue of Liberty was created and dedicated in 1886. Thus, Semiramis was honored in the United States of America on a grand scale. By the end of the 483 years, Daniel recorded that a covenant would be made. The word covenant in the original text meant to plant a tree. That would occur on March 20th of 2013, under the direction of President Obama of the United States of America. The Bible records that the beginning of months occurs in the spring. Moses was told that the beginning of months would occur in what is called the month of Abib. In March of 2013, the new moon for that month occurred on March 11th. By March 20th, when Obama would plant the Magnolia tree, it was the 10th of Abib. According to the Bible, the 10th of Abib is set aside for selecting a Passover lamb, a symbol of peace and forgiveness. It was an affront to the Lord himself for Obama to select a magnolia tree and plant it in lieu of a lamb being set aside for Passover. The magnolia Obama planted was propagated from a tree President Jefferson planted at the White House. Obama had the magnolia transported on Air Force One to Jerusalem. During the planting ceremony, Obama told a story from the Talmud about a carob tree, which fruits after 70 years. Note, Obama is 6'1". The magnolia stands over 7 feet. A magnolia grows 1 foot per year, meaning this magnolia is in its 8th year. A magnolia fruits in its 10th year. By the end of 2015, this magnolia will be in its 10th year, able to fruit. Obama's story about the Talmud was a symbol for peace. Daniel records that the final 7 years of human history would last for 2,300 days. Those days would begin at the planting of the magnolia tree, according to the covenant that would be made with the world and the world's leaders. This covenant of peace, symbolic and missed by most, has set in motion events that have matched prophecy day by day and week by week. "66 weeks past the planting of the magnolia, Caliph Baghdadi declares his caliphate of the Islamic State. Obama continues to call the Islamic State ISIL, which stands for Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The Levant is an old term for the southern portion of the ancient Persian Empire. 77 weeks past the magnolia planting, Obama would launch an air campaign against ISIL, thus fulfilling Daniel's prophecy that the Prince of the Covenant would forecast his devices against the King of the South. On day 555 past the magnolia planting, Ebola hits the United States, and what is known as a Shemitah year begins for the biblical calendar, a year of sabbatical rest. The events that have transpired since the planting of the magnolia are too numerous to list in this brief presentation. You may be wondering, how could Obama, a mere Democratic President of the United States, be a prince? In 2009, a mural was painted. It is titled Menelik to Obama. According to the Kebra Nagast, the Book of Kings of the Ethiopian and Kenyan dynasty, Menelik was the son of King Solomon and Queen Makeda of Sheba. The entire dynasty lived and died according to this book, believing that their lineage was royal from Solomon's line. Obama Sr. and Obama Jr. are both directly descended from the Luo tribe, the warring ruling class of the Ethiopian and Kenyan dynasty, thus making Obama a prince, able to match the prophecies of Daniel and commit a covenant act in Israel, thus ushering in the final 7 years of humanity's history. Daniel chapter 8 states that a king of fierce countenance would rise in the end, also known as the Prince of the Covenant. He would speak in dark sentences. In the original language of the text, this term refers to speaking in riddles and enigmas. It is time that the world knew who Obama truly is and what he is trying to accomplish.